Oh, yeah.
Anybody remember that?
Yeah.
Nope.
I'll remember Excel.
That's Excel.
And Google now. Yeah, exactly. That's right. So you just recently moved.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was living in middle of town, and Carla and I picked up and kind of moved to a little 5-acre place outside of town. And our whole, entourage we brought them with us.
You've got chickens.
We got chickens.
You've got chickens.
We got a barn. We got chickens.
I just want to go on record here. The chickens are not welcome in the office.
Oh, they're pretty sweet. They're good girls.
Are they? Are you guys getting eggs out of those?
We will be there. We're raising them for eggs.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Very, very cool. Now, did you played with Legos?
Oh, yeah. I was reminded of. I was talking with Rob the other day, and he's a huge Lego aficionado. And I played them, of course, when I was a kid, but you didn't get like all these little custom boxes with instructions.
It's completely changed.
Yeah, it was just a big box of miscellaneous parts.
You did get instructions on it was models and glue back then.
That's right. That's true. When I did scale models.
Yeah.
But Legos, it was pretty much open source, open everything, and you just kind of had to. It was a sandbox.
Yeah.
And you just had to kind of figure it out and invent your thing. So it was a different experience for me as a kid.
Yeah, it was fun. Now, are you excited about Descent Underground? Are you?
I am. I loved the original, and that's where I first learned to strafe.
Right
the
on.
Strafe move. That's
slide.
That was whatever they called it. But you could get into a room where you had a little bit of room to maneuver, and you could maneuver right around the AI bots and wipe them out, and they couldn't reach you because you were just constantly sliding off to one side. And that's where I learned that particular maneuver.
And that's been lost in the last few years. You don't really have that much out there in games, and so that's the kind of thing we want to bring back to the current generation.
Well, that's kind of fun. You see that in first-person games, but you don't see it in vehicular combat.
You see strafing, but you don't see the tricording or the moving in all these different directions, and so it's there's a lot more to do. It's a little more complex. It's not actually our goal is to make it a little easier to learn, and then it's difficult to master. Right?
Well, that's always the big challenge of any game development is creating a gradual slope of experience of acquiring skills, and so there's no big hard cliffs that you have to try to overcome, which can be discouraging.
It is. You don't want
or it doesn't flatten out where it's just no longer interesting. So that's the challenge we have.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you're on board, and thanks for stopping by, and we'll see more of you coming up pretty soon.
Looking forward to it.
We will be back to me when we're back to me. Oh, there we are. I'm back. So let's check in real quick with the room over there. Oh, not with you, Phil.
Not with me?
No, we totally just talked about this. And
we didn't.
We did.
Okay.
All right, we'll slide in. Let's do it that way. We have to be
live TV.
We have to be malleable. I know, right? So I was going to check in with the other room, but we'll check in after. We'll do that.
It's so crowded in there now.
It is. It's going to be. We got some people here, some fans, some folks that are part of the team, part of the community, part of helping us. We'll show you guys in a minute. So we wanted to talk to Phil. Phil's our exec producer. What are you, senior producer, exec? What's your title? What did you want?
Exec producer.
Exec producer.
Yeah. Does it matter?
No.
I didn't think
Honestly,
so.
only place it matters is
so.
on your LinkedIn page. it's just like, not here it doesn't. Some places it does, but not in our place.
So you take a phone call?
No, I'm gonna. People are texting me. Thank you, Mark Day, for raising your pledge. Yes, and Dan Borth, thank you. So go on. Why don't we tell people a little bit about our roadmap and how quickly people are gonna be playing this?
Sure. Well, so right now we're in pre-production. And part of that is really getting our art style down, which you guys have seen quite a bit of that, and finalizing our game design document.
Right.
We're also working out any tech issues that we have, and going to go into some deeper scheduling and budgeting as soon as we get done with this.
So we'll eventually have collisions on the maps?
We should.
Because right now...
There's no collision on the ship right now.
Sometimes you can go through wall. Like when we're playing our multiplayer sessions, Rob will... Was it you that was cheating? You were going through the walls, and then we come through, and then you come back in the round.
I don't consider that cheating. I consider that just using a game mechanic to my advantage. That's all.
Is that cheating?
Come on, now. Hey, if you want to let me fly through a wall, I'm going to fly through the wall.
He did. You did fly through the wall. So why don't you tell a little about the roadmap? Where we're at? When is it going to be in their hands? When are they going to be playing it?
Well, the first time I think is going to be the Proving Grounds, which is going to be in August of this year.
Right. And the Proving Grounds is what?
The Proving Grounds is really
like I don't know. Yeah. How was that? Did you believe that? So what is the Proving
Grounds? Maybe you don't know. So the Proving Grounds really is kind of a pre-alpha in a way. It's where we're going to put out gameplay mechanics and the ships and all of that, and let let the early adopters, so to speak, get out there and play with them, and we get feedback from them, which is going to help us tune it and make a better game.
Does it fly right?
Yeah.
Does it shoot right? Are the weapons there?
Is the speed right?
Is the speed right? You know, all those things will be tested in the Proving Grounds. But that's not all. The Proving Grounds is not just like an August thing only.
No, it goes on.
It goes on forever
Yeah.
because that's a place for new weapons to be tested.
Yep. It'll be there forever.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So, like, when fans might create an idea or have an idea for a new weapon, they might throw it over the fence, and we'll put it in the Proving Grounds and let the Groundians.
The Groundians?
The Groundians. No,
I don't know about
the
that
Grounders.
one.
You're grounded. What? Come on, we gotta have a. I gotta have a name.
Groundlings.
The Groundlings.
Nah, that's been done.
No.
What do you mean the Groundlings been done?
Groundlings was a comedy troupe. Yeah. Very
Yeah, but it couldn't have been that good if we don't know who they are.
Those were the people in the audience who stood on the ground to watch the shows, the plays.
The Groundians, Groundlings. I like the Groundlings.
Those were the ones who got their clothes dirty, muddy because there was just dirt there.
I don't think so.
I don't know if the Groundlings were.
Nah, I don't like
Absolutely.
I don't like
Google
it.
it.
If chat roll can come up with a better name than the whoop whoop whoop. Before we finish, we have an alert, Michael.
Did we make
Uh-oh.
We have to run the Forbidden Fitsmithy.
Okay.
Are you guys sure you want the Forbidden Fitsmithy?
it? No.
Okay, this was done while we were at Star Citizen, and we decided not to run it a week because it was a little beyond probably the norm of what we could do there, and but not here. We're gonna do it. So take a look at this.
Good afternoon, or depending on your worldview, good evening, good morning. Today's excerpt is from the final episode of The Cup by R.E. Waters. When we last left our intrepid heroine, she was in a bit of a sticky wicket. Daring awoke in the room of white walls and beeping monitors. She tried sitting up, but a strong hand kept her from doing so. Not yet, said Zogat Ghoul. Not until the doctors say it's okay. Daring massaged a sore shoulder.
What happened?
Your fuel went through a rapid temperature increase, spread through your systems, and ignited the plant.
How did that happen?
It was Rimisk. But the room door opened, and in walked Shuur Motok, straight and proud. 3 reporters followed in his wake. Ah, Hypatia! It's good to see you are alive and awake, my dear. You had us worried. Hypatia forced her shock and anger down, and tried to smile.
It seems as if the fates are on my side.
Indeed. And it would seem that Lady Luck has also granted you her favor. With my gift, you can return to the race.
What gift?
Motok glanced at Ghoul. I was just about to tell her. Well, let me say it proudly for all to hear, then. Motok turned to the reporters. The Motok Family Corporation condemns the actions of Yokande Rimisk. The integrity of the race must be maintained. In the spirit of goodwill and healthy competition, I have donated my personal M50 so that Hypatia Daring may re-enter the race.
I'm not putting one toe into that.
Ghoul applied pressure to Daring's arm once again. What Miss Daring means to say is she's honored to accept your gift and looks forward to the competition in the days ahead. Of course. Well, let's leave Miss Daring alone, shall we? Motok and the reporters scurried out.
You're not my father, old man. Don't answer for me.
I am not your father, that is true, but I am trying to help you grow up just a little bit. If you refuse Motok's offer, he will have won 3 times. By eliminating Rimisk, by eliminating you, and by damaging your reputation. Listen, racing is as much about public image as it is about skill. Don't damage your reputation further by being ungracious.
Despite the logic in his words, Daring just wanted to reach out and scratch his face. She was so sick of males telling her what she should and should not do. Damn it! If she wanted to refuse Motok's gift, she would. And yet, to beat Motok with his own ship. Okay, Zogat, you win. I'll accept his offer. I'll show him I'm the best. And more importantly, I'll show you.
The story continues in issue number 10 of Jump Point. I'm Alistair Sinclair Fitzsmithy. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good night.
Okay, well,
I'm not sure what to say about that.
I don't either.
I mean, sorry. Very, very
Yes.
sorry.
Hey, you can't be commenting from the side. If you're not on
Yeah.
camera, you can't be throwing your voice in.
Yeah, the
I
peanut gallery.
apologize from the depths of my heart.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was fantastic. It
Yeah.
was fantastically bad and also good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
In a bad kind of way.
in a bad kind of way.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have like a kind of we're gonna kind of maybe do like a Jump Point, but we're thinking of doing like a graphic novelization style stuff, a serial on the website, and kind of telling some of the backstory. But we haven't found the graphic novelist to use for that yet, but we do plan to. I think it's a very cool visual thing. It'll be there for not the grounders, but the underground people.
Yeah, the underground for sure.
The undergrounders. So the undergrounds. By the way, that people are asking what that is. That's it's a subscription that allows you to be a little closer to the dev team, and by that I mean you'll be live design meetings and stuff like that. You'll be in them. It's just a way to support dev a little more and allow us to do things like live streams and and community events and stuff like that. So it's not counted at all towards anything other than being part of the dev team and helping out. And so it's voluntary. It's like $10 a month. You'll get access to some things a little earlier than others, and it's just kind of a way of helping support the dev and letting this thing come out. So.
Right.
But that's cool. So the Forbidden Fitzsmithy, I don't know if we should ever show that again.
Never again.
Never again.
Although it's out there now, and there's not much we have.
Yeah, once it's been run, it's run. It's funny. It's only been on hard drives till now. But
Oh, wow.
Michael owns that character. They were kind enough to give him that character back, so I think we're okay.
It is in the wild now.
So
And now that was Carla's voice on that.
I was Carla.
Yeah,
She
lip
directed
syncing
it.
too.
She's
Yeah.
extremely talented. You're lucky to have her, Mike. You are lucky to have her. So when we get back to the roadmap, we were talking a little bit about Proving Grounds.
Right.
And as we said, it'll be something that people can test stuff over time. So once it's in August, it doesn't mean it's gone. It's
No.
always, every time we have a new ship,
Right.
it'll be introduced in the Proving Grounds first. Like, we've only got 2 or 3 of them done now in the game. So what would probably happen is, let's say Alpha comes out and we're only like 4 ships in, so people will be playing those 4 because they're balanced, and the 5th ship will come into the Proving Grounds first, and then we'll test that against all the others. And so the groundlings...
Yeah, anything new that we're going to put in the game will be in the Proving Grounds first.
Right. So that'll be an ongoing thing. So if you're in the Proving Grounds, good for you. We're really going to put you to work.
Yes.
Get ready to work, right?
Right.
So also, what else? What's after the Proving Grounds? That's August. 'Cause we have a pretty aggressive schedule, but
It's very aggressive.
but it's because it's also a very contained. We have a kind of a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. This is phase 1.
Right.
We're doing phase 1. We're doing a linear style of development here.
Yeah.
So what's the next thing after the Proving Grounds?
Well, yeah, I mean, it is aggressive, but it's certainly doable.
Yeah.
After that, we're going to go into Alpha, which is going to be in October. So that's where we expose the game to even more people.
Right.
And the game is going to be more stable in that environment. Still probably will have some issues with it, but it's an opportunity for people to see it in an earlier state and provide us with even more feedback about what they like, what they don't like, and allow us to make the game even better.
Right, so Alpha's in October.
October.
So that's not even that far away, to
No.
be honest. What is it? It's like, what are we, in April right now somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have May, June, July, August, September, October. So
6 months.
6 months. And so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And actually 2 months before that. So in 4 months, they'll be playing the game.
That's right.
And we'll be checking in with some of the guys who'll be playing the game today.
Yep.
So that's kind of fun.
We've got a room full of people over there now.
Yeah, that's why we're doing, that's why we chose the Unreal Engine, to be honest, so we could rapidly prototype. It's just, we like it a lot better. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, to speak to that a little bit, almost everything you've seen so far has been done in the last month or so. So it's all come together pretty
I know,
quickly.
right. So, because 7 hours to go. 7 hours to go. We got a ding, 7 hours to go.
hours.
So we got 7 hours left.
Wow.
We're tracking okay. Let's get there, people. It's on you. Chris, up yours. I'm gonna make that thing funny all day. It's not gonna be funny. It's just gonna be dead. Ruben says I should add to the end of the roadmap, subject to change. Everything is subject to change,
Well,
obviously,
sure.
but we are pretty confident that we're going to be there for that. So August is Proving Grounds. October is
Alpha.
Alpha. What's after that?
Well, then we have beta, and that's in January, and that's when we open it up to even more people. And this gives us basically, at that point, we think we're fairly close to being done with the game, and we're looking for sort of final touches, last-minute advice from the fans, testing out the scalability of it to make sure we can handle lots and lots of players, that sort of thing.
Right. So that's another reason we do it this way too. Is that since we're going to have some servers up there, and that's got a cost, running cost. The alpha is we'll be able to do this with a smaller amount of servers, and we go a little wider with the beta, and then when is the beta?
January of 2016.
Ooh, January of 2016.
Yeah,
that's pretty quick.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
So we have 2 months, 3 months of alpha, which is pretty good, and then beta.
And then how much beta do we have? What's after beta?
Well, beta is when we actually ship, or after beta is when we ship this thing, which will be in March of 2016. So we've got a few months of beta.
And the cool thing is, most everybody that's pledged right now will be playing the game by the time it comes out. So, you guys won't be waiting obviously till March of next year. But I think there are some that I think the 25s are just the digital copy with no alpha beta access.
That's right.
But so if you want to get that alpha or beta access, you need to be at that tier level to get you there. So make sure you're doing that. And by the way, be sure to spread the word. Help us spread the word. In order for us to get to that magic number, and we'd like to get beyond that magic number we can unlock the torch, is we want get out there, spread the word, bang your friends or whatever. Bang your friends?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oops.
We just went to an R rating.
That's typical. I'd probably. Don't bang your friends. That's friends with benefits, I guess that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's check it. Phil, why don't we check in with you in the other room?
Okay.
Phil, what's going on in the other room over there?
Eric, I'm reporting live from
Phil.
in the room next to you.
So, Mike, don't zoom in. Are you zooming in on the camera?
Play testing the game for us here in a few minutes. We've got the original Descent that we're going to play, and we've got our version of it so far that we're going to play too.
Okay.
Everything we've got right now is our version, but we're going to be open.
So who do we have in there? Why don't you guys look at the camera? We're going to have to introduce yourselves. Jared?
I'm Dunkles,
Dunk, we can't see you, buddy. You need to lean in.
Oh, well, there we go.
All right.
6 degrees of freedom, by the way. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said the mic is too low, so you guys speak up. And who else is back there? Elfin Dreams, John Tennyson, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you guys for being here, supporting it. Now you guys brought a cookie, right?
Yeah. It's your idea.
Wow.
So it says prepare for descent.
But let's bring it in. Let's grab that cookie, Rob. I'm starving.
Move. Steal the cookie.
Prepare for descent.
That is awesome.
Now, Dunk, come on in here real quick, would you? We've got you guys have a little get-together going on this afternoon, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
come in here and
totally.
yeah.
Totally. We up at the Schultz Garden, which is like 8 blocks from here.
Right.
Up San Jacinto, however you say that.
Jacinto is correct, but we're
Yeah,
Texans,
around
we
here
don't
everybody
do
says
that.
things 10 different ways.
So we'll be showing, but that's going to start about what, 7 o'clock? Or
I'm going to be up there at about 6, trying to get everything ready. Probably have people showing up about 6:30, and then just go until it goes.
And that's hopefully a celebration.
Hopefully victory party.
Because otherwise, it's just you're going to have to pull me out of there with a wheelbarrow. All right, man. Well, we'll see you there, and we'll see you here in a little bit. Thanks for stopping by. Come on, enjoy the game. We'll get Phil to have you set up, and let's get them playing some Descent, and we can. Yep. And I want to play some Descent too against them, but I'll need to get my joystick out of the
The
room.
volume's very low on our video.
No. The volume's low on our video.
Oh.
I think the volume is low on there. I think the mic. There's no
the guys
mic in
next
there.
door,
Right.
yeah.
Am I right, Mike?
You're right.
They are right next door.
Yeah, they are. Dude, they're in the other wing.
The west wing of the... Oh, wait, that's not the west wing, is it?
We could see
Hold
how
on a second, just
quickly we could
correction
cheer
this
over
one.
if it weren't for the wires running all over the floor for this kind of stuff. Oh, yeah, Shogun says, don't cut the cookie until it gets funded. That's a good point. We won't, Shogun. You're right. We won't do that.
Don't cut the cookie.
But
No
it's
cutting
sitting
of the
right in
cookie.
front of me.
I know, I'm starving. It's just,
And I am the original Cookie Monster.
Are you really? Are you the good?
God.
That's your thing?
It's a cookie.
So I don't know if you guys have had a chance to check out any of the Design Undergrounds, but you've got a show.
We got an interview coming up in about 5 minutes.
We got a what?
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
You got an interview coming up?
Yeah, we got a special guest coming on our
We
show.
do? We do?
We do.
Well, you're going to run the interview, though, right?
I
You're
am
gonna
going to
allow
run
me
the interview.
You're gonna allow me to
yes.
keep my voice somewhat alive.
Yeah, I'll let you take a break.
Yeah. And so, by the way, Daryl Little is out there. He says he's doing his best to get us support on Twitter. Come on, let's get this funded. Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate that. We appreciate anybody out there spreading the word. Oh, sure, we can do that. No, we'll do that a little bit later. We want to talk to some of the fans of this thing right now more than we want to talk to the developers. So, okay, hold on. Okay, I'm reading some. Rob, why don't you talk a little about design there?
Talk a little about design. Just throw me under the bus here, huh? I'm not prepared. Do we want to talk about a particular aspect of design, or are you just trying to get me to fill some space? What can we say about design that we haven't already said in our design undergrounds? Once a week we get on and do a show about our design. So I should pitch my own show right now. One of the things that's really important about the way we're doing development, the way we're doing design, is that it's continual feedback loop with the fans, so that we can try things out and see how you like it and what you think and ask your opinion and let you watch the process happen with our live design meetings. Those of you who have joined the underground already with our that add-on pledge.
So just Luke Kepler is saying that he'd like us to do an add-on for about $100 for a box. But the problem with doing that is it sort of cannibalizes the other tiers that already have the box. So
yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting thing. Maybe we could do a different box or something.
Yeah, we could. I mean, that's like the collector box.
No, the collector's boxes are autographed. They're all up
the
top.
Autographed ones at the.
But we could do if people are asking for it, we could do maybe a CD caddy or something of that nature style box.
Maybe so.
Yeah, we'll think about it. Got your message, Luke. We'll give it a shot. We'll think about it. Plenty of time.
4 hours.
There's
seven
hours to go.
Yeah,
we got tons of this thing. It's forever. We're going forever.
By the way, Mike, do you have the shirt ready?
Do I have the shirt?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's explain to them. A, that we have another shirt to add to the mix. And B, how to do an add-on in case you don't know.
So you want to take a look at that shirt?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is going to be our third shirt option. All the shirts are a $30 add-on to your pledge, and in order to do an add-on to your shirt, that's the STFU, the original title of the game, shirt design. Of course, it's going to look a little different when it's finally done, but that gives you the idea at least. If you want to do an add-on to your pledge, what you do is you go logged into the Kickstarter page, you go how much you pledge, and there's a little button next to that says Manage. If you go into that Manage and click that Manage button, it'll give you a screen which says here's how much you've pledged and here's your reward. If you change the number at the top and keep your reward the same, that makes an add-on and it'll just up the amount. And then you can tell us, we're going to do a survey or some kind of CS reach out after we're done with the campaign to make sure we get everyone's add-ons correct. So we'll be checking in with everyone to make sure we have all your rewards right, and we'll transfer it all over to our website after the campaign's over. So join in, jump on, grab an STFU shirt, grab 3 shirts.
Okay, so
We want to do a special sale right now for all 3 shirts for less than 90.
how much are we selling them for right now?
They're 30 each.
30 each. So we could do like $75 for
All 3 shirts for $75. Let's do it. We have the power.
Why not? But we'll need you to comment in your thing. Okay, so here's
Yeah.
the deal. Here's the deal. We're gonna do a Twitch stream add-on. A Twitch stream add-on. So you can get all 3 shirts for $75. So if you've already got one shirt at 30, we can, and then you can get the STFU shirt. So Twitch stream add-on. In fact, the only place you're gonna be able to do this is here, because we're gonna update the Kickstarter page with this. We don't have time to do the graphic or anything.
It's not going to be on there.
Only if you're lucky enough to be here, you can get all 3 shirts for $75.
So, Descent Underground,
Descendent Studios,
and STFU.
and STFU.
All 3 shirts. One-time offer.
Oh, Lothar says, okay, so for $75, because you can get one of each, or can I get any of the 3 for $75? You can choose your own.
He's quite a negotiator, isn't he?
No, that's fine, though.
It's good.
If
I
you
like
want to
it.
have 3 of the STFU shirts.
Sure, why not?
Why not? Absolutely.
Go
It's
for it.
Yeah, 3 shirts for $75. So that's fine, Lothar, sure. Senalaya, you're fine, dude. We'll sort you out. So that's cool. So
$10 giftable game.
$10 giftable game. Where's that guy that was trying to pirate our game? And the guy in the guy in the comments section. You know who you are. Well, why can't pirating work? Well, who knows? Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of cool. $75. That's a cool deal.
I think, hey, we got 3 shirts. Why not let them have one?
I do like the idea of a box thing. I mean, a lot of people are asking for the box. We just have to figure a way of doing it to where, the more boxes we do make, though, the easier it is to do the run because it's a limited run. So it's the shipping. The thing about physical goods like that is there's a cost involved with, especially larger ones, boxes and stuff, the shipping and everything else. So we have to find a way that makes it attractive, or you guys want it, and it doesn't seem like we're gouging. When in reality, we're not gouging. We're just covering the rest of the cost. So I guess you could say it's this, and then you add this for shipping.
Funding the making of the game. Yeah, that comes out of our
shipping.
Game.
Right. Because you could be anywhere.
All right. Let me make sure that I have what I need here.
You have what you need.
For $12.15.
For $12.15.
Yep.
Oh, we have a special caller at $12.15.
We have a special guest.
Now
I'm 12 right now.
Now who's is he calling this number here?
I'm going to call his number.
What's the username?
The number? No, we're calling his phone.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that from here.
Do you have any credit on your Skype?
I don't have any credit on this account because it's a company account.
Oh, maybe I'll have to do it on speaker, which would sound awful.
Well, not really, because the mic's right here. We could probably make that.
Yeah, we could do it. Just put that mic on the speaker.
Okay.
Just prop your phone next to the.
Let's do that right now. Let's bring the mic. Let's bring the mic.
It's not gonna come over. Just leave it there, and he can prop his phone over there.
All right.
Against your monitor.
We're listening to our producer because Mike's very smart.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
While we're waiting on that, why don't we talk a little bit about stretch goals?
Oh, stretch goals. So I think we Jenks, right? Coke 1, 2, 3. So we have some modest stretch goals up right now, and they're on the Kickstarter page.
Just-in-time graphic.
Just-in-time graphic. We know the Shaman and the Warlock are part of the packages, so those are stretch goals. Now, just for the record, both of those will continue on our website after this is over. Assuming we hit 600, then we will still have those stretch goals attainable on our own page. The torch, though, is a little different. Torch is one to give to everybody that's backed, because you guys have been so great at helping us spread the word, and it's sort of it's the birth of the Pyro, so it's kind of like a shout out or a thank you for everybody that's helped us get to this point. So we didn't think it was right to charge for it, so it's because everybody wants it. So why not just give it as a way of thanks? So that's at $6.50. That's really where we'd kind of like to be today at 7 o'clock, is in the $6.50 or higher. Actually, what am I talking about? I'd like to be at $1 million by 7 o'clock today. But
let's aim for that.
Yeah, let's aim for $1 million. So, but anyway, if we get $6.50, the torch, everybody gets it. Everybody that's backed will get it. If we don't, well, we'll have to figure out something else how to handle that. But hopefully, we'll go from there. So hopefully, we won't have to worry about that. What's White Shark saying? What's we do read the chat. We haven't really read the. Oh, you know what? White Shark. Right. So White Shark comes into the chat and he's saying that he's talking about Soul Contingency. So we should talk a little bit about that.
We should.
What did we have to do with Soul Contingency?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Not a thing. When Interplay sent their cease and desist to Soul Contingency, we were still at Star Citizen. We had no idea that even happened. Interplay approached us in January of this year to do our game as a Descent game. So we know it kind of the timing looks kind of strange, and we feel bad. I will personally be support. If Soul goes out and does a Kickstarter, they can count on me pledging, and they can count on me to personally support them, because I think that's a cool project and I want it made.
Absolutely.
So it has nothing to do with us, but I think that's one of those challenges we had when we started. We didn't
perception.
We didn't even really know about it. I mean, I think they sent the cease and desist like September, October. Well, where were we in September, October?
Cloud
Imperium Games. We're still. I think we're preparing for the CitizenCon in LA. So, yeah, nothing to do with us.
All right.
So we wanted to let that know, because Interplay. But for the record, if you're doing a game, just as a general rule, make sure that you own the assets you're creating. You can't. You should, if you're working with somebody else's intellectual property, you're always putting yourself at risk. And so I know the Soul guys have made a massive turnaround. I still follow them on Facebook. I check out their stuff. I love the new their Mega Missile. They're calling it something else, I think, but it still looks pretty cool. So just make sure you cover yourself as a developer. Make sure you know what you can and can't do, because it's it's a scary field out there for people, especially when IP ownership and asset ownership's involved. So, cover your own bacon, so to speak. Which was another question we had. How can you guys be making this game when Soul got shut down? Well, because we signed a deal with Interplay. We got a trademark deal with them, so we've got a licensing deal. So that's and we're still working on furthering the deal, because we really would like to have that pyro in the game, and that's owned by a couple other guys, and we sure would like them as part of this. So, we're still talking. Still talking.
All right. Are we ready to have our special guest on?
I think so. I'm going to step out for a minute because I need to get some water in my lungs here, or my lungs.
That would be bad.
My water in my things, and I'll let you take over, and I'll be right back. Water break.
Don't break your water now.
Don't break your water. I'm going to move over to this chair.
All right, you take the captain's chair.
I am in command. Now I'm too tall. I don't know how to deal with that. All right. Let's see how this works. Can you hear that okay, Mike?
I can hear that just fine. I got the means.
All right. Hello, Peter. You are live on the air with Rob at Descendent.Studios. So, everyone who's watching us right now, I'd like to introduce you to Peter Tellep. You might have heard of him before. He wrote the Descent novels. Peter, why don't I give you a chance to go ahead and practice this marketing yourself thing that you're working on, and tell the people a little about yourself.
Hey, Rob, can
let me begin by saying, in true college student fashion, because as I had mentioned before to you guys prior to this interview, that I'm also a college professor, but in true college student fashion, to prepare for the interview, I went immediately to Wikipedia, which we all know actually Wikipedia's accuracy is not to be questioned.
Of course. Absolute truthiness.
Right. So I went to the Wikipedia page and I just looked up Descent, to reminisce, because it's been like 400 years since we last talked and didn't work, right? It's been a long time. But check it out. The original game was released on February 28th, 1995.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Wow.
That's
a while ago.
Almost exactly 20 years ago.
Yeah, right. And then we talked yesterday about the fact that the book that I did based on the game came out in 1999. January 1st, 1999 was the pub date for the book. So I guess the first and second games had already been out, and then the third game was underway. But everybody I talked to, all my friends, my colleagues, people I grew up with, everybody does love the game. And that's noted on the Wikipedia page, Matt. It's noted as a classic. And I'm happy to report that the books back in the day were, quote, well received. So, hey, I'll take it. But just the fact that you guys are taking the original Descent game and rebooting it and introducing like a whole new generation to what looked like a freaking awesome game for us back in the day is just incredible. And so Ben Lesnick called me or sent me an email and said, hey, Pete, they're doing, these guys, these crazy bastards are doing this reboot of Descent, and they got a Kickstarter thing going on. So I took a look at that, and I'm like, holy crap, $500,000. So that's freaking impressive, So then he's like, hey, he called me and said, hey, or sent me an email and said, hey, you think you might want to be involved in some way? And I'm like, hell yeah, that sounds so much fun, I've been doing for the last, 8, 9 years, I've been working with Ubisoft and working with the Tom Clancy franchise, doing both, original fiction and then novels based on Ghost Recon. I actually wrote all the Ghost Recon books. Some of them are published under the pen name David Michaels because they had this rule about everybody must use the David Michaels pen name for a while there. So there was a few of us writing, but I did actually all the Ghost Recon books. I did all the N-War books, and I did two or three, I think it's two, of the Splinter Cell novels. And then the most recent Splinter Cell game, Blacklist, I did the tie-in book for that, which came out, I think, about a year ago. So I've had an opportunity pretty recently to work with game developers and to develop game stories into novels, and it's that goes on in both what I do and in the game environment. And then I had mentioned to you yesterday, Rob, that I teach that as well. I teach fiction writing at the university, and I teach fiction techniques. I teach script writing, which is somewhat akin to some of the game writing that I've seen and have done. And then I teach writing for video games, which is a class that obviously it fills up fast. There's like a long waiting list to get in. And I've got a lot of material from my friends over there at Ubisoft and other places. And, we just look at creating game worlds that allow the players to have their own story or create their own narrative in the environment. So the key there is that the player's story is the most important story. We're trying to get them to have a narrative. When you talk to somebody about a video game where they say, oh man, level 5 and I got to jump on top of this crate and I shot that guy, and then I didn't realize that you could actually jump in the boat and take out 2 guys over there and then destroy the tank and then you know what I'm saying? That story of their gameplay is the most important story. They really don't care about the overall arc, that's there. It allows them to kind of have a framework for everything. But I've seen some interviews with the guys from Gears of War, and they were saying the same thing, like our overall arc is pretty simple. It's like, save the universe or thwart the alien race. And then the players on a more micro level can experience their own story. So all of this kind of interactive storytelling and immersion and what we call it, at least in the way I teach it, I call it the magic circle, where the player is in this bubble and, and you're just sweating and time passes and suddenly you've been online for 17 hours and you forgot to go to the bathroom, right?
Had more than one of those sessions myself.
I could probably fill the whole 9 hours for you if you want.
I was thinking, maybe we should just do that. But so you would teach people to write for games. You are obviously very familiar with a lot of different game franchises since you've been writing about so many of them already. What do you think? What's your favorite part of Descent?
Well, the interesting thing about Descent and the way it occurred was, at that time, I had done some adaptations already. I think I had adapted an old TV show called Space Above and Beyond for Fox, and I had actually worked with the producers of that show when I was living in LA. And so they knew who I was, and they were thrilled that I actually got hired to write the book. It was just a happy coincidence. And so based on that work, an editor at Avon Books at the time, a guy named Stephen Power. By the way, I sent Stephen your link and everything, and he just thought it was so awesome. Because he was a huge fan of the game.
That's
He
great.
came to me with the game and said, "This game is freaking awesome. I want to turn this into a series of books." So it was really his brainchild. So I said, let me take a look at what they've got and what the storyline is, see what I can do. And I realized that the game developers, even back in those days, were very keen in allowing the player to create a narrative. You just had to go and you're a mercenary. You just had to go and figure out what's going on with this virus, and get that squared away, get out of there. Pretty simple, right? This guy Dravis tells you, "Hey man, this is what you got to do," and you're all sarcastic, and you do your thing. It's pretty simple. And I thought, well, how the hell do I fill up like 300 or 400 pages of that? So I didn't have a character, right? All I had was kind of a aimless material defender person. So I thought, well, I've got to create a character. I got to create the backstory. I got to create, secondary characters. Maybe have some scientists we've got to rescue, etc. And then I started wrestling with some of the improbabilities of the concept, like why do we fly a ship underground? Why are we flying a plane underground? Seems kind of odd. And I saw that you guys, in the early development of your reboot, actually, I think that was that the title of one of the games? Or the
Ships That Fight
game?
Underground? Yeah, that's what we were originally using as our title.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good. Yeah, I think that's awesome, because I wrestle with that. I'm like, well, what the hell? But the thing about it is, it's cool because you gave the player the freedom. The player's like, okay, cool, I can fly through the mine instead of walking. Walking takes too long, And so I like flying, but it's kind of like a exploring, puzzle solving game. There's a lot of different types of elements that it combines, so that was pretty ingenious, even though it seems crazy. So anyway, and I think that's probably, I got to be honest, I can't quite remember. I haven't reread the book.
Yeah.
or solve the problem. So you don't, the cliches don't bother you so much. That's not your focus. You're focused on doing your gameplay. But for a storyteller, I'm like, So I remember creating a character who basically, it's kind of a metafiction technique where you kind of have a character who comments on the story as it unfolds, So I remember having a character who would, poke fun at the plot of the book, not saying that this is the book that you're reading, but thinking oh my God, this is happening to me. Suddenly I'm trapped in a B movie, you know what I mean? That kind of idea. And so I tried to use that to play up the humor throughout the book. And when you get the reader, it goes, yeah, I know this is cliche, and the characters do too, and then have a little fun with that. So, and that actually turned out to be kind of I think a strong technique that helped me get through the other two books. That I got a lot of great response from readers that loved it, thought it was funny, liked how you poked fun at the genre even while you were writing it. And I said, okay, great, because I thought maybe if I took myself too seriously, the readers would be like, whatever, if they've done that. The storyline's pretty straightforward. So that kind of it was almost kind of a literary technique, because that was kind of, just fresh out of grad school, and, had all these literary, aspirations and things going on at the same time. My job was to take, the immediate tie-in book and raise it to the heights of great literature. And I don't know if I succeeded, but I tried. There you are.
It was good. It was good. Thank you. I'm enjoying them right now, so thank you.
See, we're spreading the word again.
I hope they're not too dated. I mean, I might be referencing things like Britney Spears and Colonel Oliver North, or people who were famous maybe back in those days. I have no idea.
We can Wikipedia them.
No, they're
I
great.
was telling Rob that I think it would be cool if that books got republished. The only trouble with that, and available for Kindle download. The only trouble with that is, I must have wrote those on an old Dell computer back in the day, and either on a floppy disk or a smaller, disk. I don't even know if I still have those disks. And so, basically, what has to happen is, and I have copies of the book still. I probably got to just hire somebody to type the book back in, and actually, get it into electronic form. But I think it would be fantastic, especially when the game comes out, that the players, can have that kind of accompanying nostalgia, of here are the books that accompanied the game around the time of the release. Might be kind of cool. And then take it to new heights, with the new game. Pretty exciting.
So one of the things that we talked about yesterday that I figured would be good to share with the community as well is, you're very familiar with the whole idea of this bootstrapping a project and trying to market it on your own. Tell the people a little about your current project.
The current thing I'm working on now. Well, what happened was, this is what's interesting about me is that I've done so much media tie-in stuff over the years. I've written film books. When I lived in LA, I wrote for cartoon shows, television shows. So my background is very strongly based in working with licensed properties. And what you realize after doing this for a long time is that you're making everyone else rich. And they like you and think you're really talented and want to use you, and they pay you wheelbarrows full of money to just shut up and do your work. But the real serious cash and the real serious, notoriety always goes to the project, So after doing this for so long, and more recently working with the Tom Clancy franchise, I just thought the only way I'm ever gonna break away from this is if I just step away and say, hey, I need to create my own project, my own brand, etc. And I have over the years written some original novels in between other things I've done, but I never really put the marketing into them, or the distribution, or the promotion that I really should have, and never really, kind of developed a kind of network of people that I already know would be, supportive of the book. So, because I've done so much military research over the years, especially when I got the job collaborating with Tom Clancy. I mean, Tom Clancy is known for meticulous and exhaustive research, and you better get it right, right? Because you'll have 10,000 people emailing you because the propeller on the helicopter is described as being 1 inch too long, or the rotor blades, I want to say. So if I would have wrote the propeller, I would have been fired immediately. There you go, right? So, I really learned to hone my research and communicate with many, many more folks in the military, and I was able to gain a lot more access because of the fact that I was working with the Clancy franchise. So I had access to, CIA, FBI, NSA, Navy SEALs, Force Recon Marines, CDs, just the list goes on, of people I could talk directly to, learn about their tactics, techniques, and procedures, and work that material into the book. So I got this after Mr. Clancy passed away, which was a very sad day for all of us. But after he passed away, I said, "This is the hand of fate speaking to me now, or moving me or shoving me in the direction. This is it. This is the time." So I just stepped back and I said, "Hey guys, I'm on pause. I'm going to go away and write my own book." So I went up to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, to visit a friend who's a veteran Force Reconnaissance Marine, and I stayed at his house for a week, and he took me around to Camp Lejeune. He took me to the base. I got to ride around on the riverine patrol boats and do all kinds of really cool, fun stuff. I got to see one of the first training sessions with female Marines on the base, which was really awesome. And so after spending a week with him and a few of his friends, I was trying to think about what I was going to write about, and I realized that the characters of the book and the ideas of the story were right in front of me. It was these guys, because they have their own little private military company, and they do consulting and all this and that. And I said, what if I do a book that's, based on reality, based on these real guys, but what if I, do a big, terrorist thriller novel, and set it up in North Carolina and then let it take off from there. And I went home, I was so charged up, so fired up, that I spent, the next 6 to 8, 10 months writing the book, doing more research for the book, and then finishing it up and just rewriting it. And then I thought, okay, what am I going to do with this? Should I just hand it back over to the publishers, and they'll tell me it's too long, and we want this and that, and then they'll set me up with a cover that I hate, because a lot of times you don't get any say in the cover. I've had covers where I thought, fantastic, yeah, that'll sell books, and then I thought, I spent a year of my life on that book for that cover? Yeah. So you're kind of stuck, and in a lot of cases, the jacket copy on some of my books was so bad that the actual editor would come to me and say, can you rewrite this? So I can point to a number of my own books where the copy on the back was written by me. I should have demanded extra money, right?
I was going to say, that sounds like another side job. So bringing it back around to the Descent stuff.
Hyperbolic jacket copy, right? So anyway, long story short, I decided, no way, I want full control of this thing. So the book is called The Secret Corps, and Corps is spelled like Marine Corps, C-O-R-P-S, right?
Cool.
And I think I'm going to have it available on Kindle for pre-order within the next 2 weeks. I think the big publication date, Kindle drop date, will probably be the first week of May, and then probably within a month I'll have a 6x9 trade paperback size version of the book available for purchase through Amazon. But it's a really exciting time for me because I feel like I'm a rogue man. I've gone indie. I'm like you guys.
And now we're gonna figure out ways that you can help us with our project and provide some of your writing skills, and hopefully maybe this will be a stretch goal for people to reach for. Get you on board to do some writing for our story, our plot, our dialogue.
That'd be awesome.
It could be a really.
There's so much reciprocity between gamers and the military. I mean, I gotta tell you, there's so many readers. There's a lot of downtime in the military, right? These guys sitting around. They're always hurrying up, waiting to go nowhere. That's what they say. Hurry up and wait. And they read a lot. They read a lot of their phones. They read a lot of their Kindles. They read a lot of from their computers, and they play a lot of games. a
Yeah.
lot of games.
Our communities often
Really
have a
a
lot of
shared
military
audience
people.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Nice crossover there. Plus,
Yeah.
with you being a teacher and all, and you know, sending us potential new employees down the road.
I'm telling you, there's so many students that, and I tell them, you know, it's just like anything else, it's a really tough industry and long hours, whatever, but I've had quite a few successes over the years. I have a student named Justin Schramm who graduated, he took me to a couple of different video game classes, then he went to the Florida Interactive Entertainment Academy that we have here, which is our graduate school for video game design. He graduated from FIA, and then I think Blizzard, you know, got hired right out of grad school, and worked on the most recent BioShock game.
That's really cool.
So there you go.
Success story.
Yeah, so there's some pretty good success stories coming out of our program. But of course, when it comes to Descent, I would like to be the primary writer.
Well, we'd like to do that too.
That's just me being a little territorial.
So we got to wrap it up and get moving on. But I really appreciate you coming on, and well, we're going to encourage everyone out there who hasn't to read the Descent novels, for sure.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
they're great. They're
And I
awesome.
wish you guys, you know, incredible success. Which you don't really need the best wishes from me because you're going to get it. I think this project is hot. It's ready to go.
We sure hope so,
I'm
and
ready
we
to
wish
play.
you luck on your new book as well. And I'll be talking to you
Thank
again
you.
soon, Peter.
Sounds
Thanks a
great,
lot.
guys. Thanks so much. It's been my pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
too. Have a good one. We're back. Thank you again, Peter Talbot, for showing up today. I've gotten to meet a lot of interesting people working on this project, and that includes some people who have been involved in the projects before, and all you great community members. So that's part of the joy of doing a game like this, is that you meet so many interesting and very passionate people. So thanks to all of those people for making this possible. We're at 575,000 almost, so keep it going. Got to inch it forward a little more. 7,363 backers. That is amazing. Obviously, a lot of it's because you people are spreading the word everywhere, and without you, we never would have gotten this far. So, Thanks a lot. What's up, Eric?
Well, one of our wonderful dissenters is bringing us barbecue
What?
from Elgin.
Wow.
Icebones just called and said he's bringing barbecue. He'll be here in about 15 minutes. So
I think I'm going to cry right now.
I know, that's awesome, man.
That is so.
That is really nice. Very, very kind of him. And I'm actually really hungry. You going on
I'm
this
dying.
stuff. I know. You get going. You forget. We're going to have to put like a guy up here with a little, our bunny.
The bunny. The bunny is our
The bunny. Yeah, we may be taking a lunch break. We'll leave the camera running, but we'll put the bunny up with a little sign, and we'll just be eating.
Okay.
Nobody
Are
wants
we
to
going to have a Descent bunny as our mascot?
Maybe.
Well, we could do a Descent bottle of Basil Hayden's.
Is it a little early to break that out? I see 574, 934.
It
I
is
do
very,
not see.
it's very
600.
early. It needs to see 600, and this thing will be shots for every 500.
Where's a lamp when we need it?
Well, we have a lamp, but it's way bigger than the other lamp.
It's not a good lamp.
Our lamp, no,
It's an
not-
evil lamp.
It's a broken lamp, actually.
broken-
So you're saying our lamp is bigger than the Star Citizen lamp?
Our lamp is so much bigger.
Far,
Yeah.
far bigger.
We're a bigger lamp.
But we would not disrespect the lamp.
Okay. All right.
What are you up to over
Well,
there?
I've got a text that came in, so
This is what we call dead air.
yeah, dead air. So you guys just showed the trailer, and we'll be talking to Kaji, who made that, a little later today. We'll reach out to Kaj. We'll
That was
Skype
an
call with him.
amazing effort on
Yeah, he
his
did a
part.
really good job, and it's funny. A lot of these assets are fairly new. I mean, we show things like the day we get them.
The second we see them,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, how do we show that to everyone out there?
That's what transparent development's about. That is what we're doing. That is why we're doing it. We want you guys to be involved. And some of the stuff, you guys are going to go, right? Like, I think if we showed them the Panzer stuff, I think a couple of those are kind of, but a couple of them are pretty cool. So that's how it works, right? We get like a foreshot of something. Let me see if I can get that from Mike, and we'll put it up there. We'll talk about that. We kind of give a little look at how these things happen.
Yeah, we had the discussions we had before they started working out some silhouette shapes. Basically, get the shape language right.
Well, yeah.
And so we try things out. Are you sending him the email with the?
I'm going
There we
to.
go. Excellent.
Ooh, have you got this one, Mike? I'm going to send you the. You want email over there, Morlan, or what do you want
Sure,
there?
why don't you just email that?
And
to me
in
then?
case, for those of you who have not seen, we did put some wallpapers up yesterday.
You got to
on
get the wallpapers.
forums.
Those are so bad.
They are really nice looking.
Put some of those up here right now while we're talking.
That's
yeah,
a
let's
great
do that.
idea.
Those are really cool.
We have the power of putting images on our show.
Yeah.
And it's way better than our faces.
Listen, that's okay. So here we. Yeah, this is good. So we're gonna. I still hate this right down here. We're gonna get rid of that.
That's
this
okay.
one's cool. This was.
That's
very cool. But but we'll see what they think.
We'll see what they think. I mean, hey, you know what? It's always an interesting process.
So here's the foreshot, Mike, for the what I'm talking about
You
there.
send
So
that to me?
I've given you two things in email right now that you can use. One was the the
new
Panzer,
promo shot?
the Panzer, and the other is a new promo shot for Torch. So you should check that out.
We haven't seen yet.
Well, you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen the Panzer yet.
Oh, cool.
So I understand
That's
there's
pretty
some cool
cool.
concepts there.
We're only 25 away, guys. 25K away from the magic number, or the first magic number. So
Yeah.
we have.
And we'll have a second magic number.
Yeah,
that we can start
the
aiming
magic
for.
numbers will get even more magical. And the magical numbers, it'll be magic. It's going to be great. So that's it.
Eric is obviously losing his mind at this time.
Yeah, there's been some talk about having me shave like taking a bit of hair off when we get to 600, but we haven't decided. My wife is vehemently against it. But I have this cool image of me going to speak at the Heartland conference tomorrow with a big line down the middle of my forehead of no hair.
I don't think that would
Promise.
work out
There is no
nearly-
promise. There's a discussion. There's a difference between a promise and a discussion. It's funny how discussions become promises all of a sudden.
575. We
All
are
right,
there.
all right, that's cool. That's very cool. So let's get back to the chat room.
So maybe I can help promote that idea.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
no. That's sort of menacing.
Watch out! You almost got the beard there. You can't be.
That's sort of menacing.
Don't get that close. You know the
Concerned.
people like your beard, dude. You've got. Oh, we got 100 people in chat right now too.
Wow.
Do you ever want to get on Twitter and go, "Who are you that's following me? Why are you all following me?"
No.
Come on, that's just funny. That you call them followers, and you're like, it's a cool place to be paranoid. I think.
I suppose.
Yeah. So Rob and I always have these discussions about who knows funny.
Right.
Rob has
Apparently, I don't, according to Eric. I
no,
do
no.
not
You
know funny.
you've got a different funny.
Yes, right.
You've got
the
a-
actual funny as opposed to Eric.
Oh, see.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
Mhm.
no, it's not
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
like that.
That's.
Eric has a different brand.
Yeah, Groundhound says, "Who are you that flies so good?"
Oh man,
Joel's upstairs, isn't he? Didn't
I
Joel have
did-
something to do with that?
That was Gilbert.
But he worked on Privateer as well, right?
Yeah, I don't. Well, obviously, he didn't stop him from writing that dialogue.
Yeah, yeah. Very, very cool.
Yeah. I am not responsible for those words, but I have, to this day, kept them in my head as a reminder that you have a responsibility as a writer in a game to make people talk like, people start first and foremost.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's cool. The thing about what was I gonna say something.
what were you going to say?
I don't know. It's
Are you taking notes for yourself?
yeah. I do take notes.
Well, while you're taking notes,
Myself.
I'll show some of the frames from Kaji's video.
Oh, cool.
I'm
Oh,
just gonna bring it up
these are the. Oh man, look at that.
I mean, it's
Pretty
just
cool.
beautiful
It's
work.
beautiful work. I
That
mean,
is a nice wallpaper.
These are just
and these
some
are wallpapers that are on our forums right now.
Yeah, I sent out these out as wallpapers.
You can go. Well, they're on our forums. You can go. The forums are pinned at the top of the general section. You can go grab all of these if you want. There's a torch right there in that bad boy.
That torch looks
And we haven't even painted that yet either. That's just
no, that's just
before
that's
painting.
before
so.
we start to customize.
I'd like to see
it.
some teeth on that bad boy. There's a typhoon. We
Typhoon
still got to
hiding.
figure out whether the spinny things are a special weapon or they happen all the time or whatever.
Probably when it
Cool,
fires,
cool.
if at all. It will certainly make
Nice
it
little-
more terrifying.
Ooh, Drugan says,
The reactor.
looking great, guys. All your friends here at Explore are cheering loud. Love Explore. They're like the #1 size clan or org over there at Star Citizen. So thank you guys very much for jumping in with us. Thanks, very cool. More Explore the better. They're going to have a little special logo. And actually, anybody that's a Star Citizen supporter and is also, one of their backers and our backers, we're going to give you a special Star Citizen logo for your ship. Because I think that's cool. And I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to do it. Because it's cool. I'm going to have one, so you should too. That's where we started. That's where the roots
If
came
you
from.
backed us at 2 different jobs, we
Right,
we
absolutely.
would appreciate that.
Cool. So we can take some chat. We can take some questions from chat if we'd like. Or Phil, are you on Twitch at all? Or are you just kind of? Yeah. So let's get Phil on Twitch and let's check in on the game room and see what they're up to.
What's happening next
What's
door?
going on in the game room, guys? Are
Nothing at
you guys
all.
just playing the map right now?
Well, we're playing the map. We're following the chat roll on the DS site. I keep crashing into stuff and dying.
That happens to us.
That
all.
sounds like a Chris Robert moment.
Oh.
Chris Roberts moment. Crash Roberts.
Yeah, so
That's why we have no collisions in here in our game right now.
Yeah, we don't want to run into things and die.
Yep. Okay, cool. Well, sounds good.
it's awesome.
Yep. Good. We're going to play some original old school Descent here in a little bit, right?
Oh, nice.
Yep. We're going to get
Oh,
on there.
yeah.
We're going to have a little Descent-y competition.
Uh-oh.
I need to get my joystick because
D1, D2.
yeah, they're
D1.
D1. Yeah. I know. Yeah, we'll make sure Phil will make sure they have the ability to
Yeah,
play all
rebirth.
that. And
I got a few pointers from some of the Rangers, so hopefully.
Oh no. Unfair.
the Rangers, those guys are too good. We can't let them join in because we want to act like we're really good at that game.
Well, if you shoot the heck out of me, it's not the teacher, it's the student.
Well,
So-
the thing is, I've got my key set up on. Yeah, see, that's cheating. I've got my key set up over there on that machine, so I'd have to remember and set it up on this machine. Rob's on. Is he on camera, like blocking our camera? This is live TV, folks.
And I am plugging in my computer because it apparently can't do.
Okay, let's not call this TV because we're certainly not worthy of that label.
This is way better than TV.
This
This is really reality.
is a reality show
This is
to top all
there
reality
is. There's no
shows.
producer. I mean, there is a producer, but there's nobody like. There's nothing staged here. This
It's
is
about
what
as
it
low
is.
rent as it gets. Yeah.
You're getting an honest look at what really goes on inside our heads.
Blue
and
Dog's
it's a
saying no
scary
empty bourbon.
place.
Blue Dog's Phil's on the chat saying no empty bourbon bottles yet. No, we can't. There's no celebrating right now. The cookie's still here. The
Yeah.
bunny's still live. So we can't be celebrating. No cart before the horse here, man. We've got some work to do yet. I think we've still got I don't know what we got, about 23 to go or something like that. So
Yep.
22 now. So
22.
that's awesome. That's awesome. First of all,
Great job. Thank you.
thank you. Keep spreading the word. Michael, how many people are watching here? What do we got? What are our numbers looking like right
We're
now?
currently at about 257 people.
257 people. What the hell are you people doing here? There's pledging to be done.
Don't you have better things to
Speaking
do
of
with your
which,
day?
let's get people to be sure to, while they're watching, telling their friends on Facebook.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. All kidding aside, make sure you're telling your friends on Facebook. The weird thing about all this is, I actually think a lot of these games would get funded, but it's just a matter of whether you reach the people that like that in the amount of time you need, right? So, that's the one thing about Kickstarter. It focuses things to, you get all or nothing. And so it's very important. So, like, Facebook is a great place to go and you put what we're doing. But if you're not, hey, Jason, come on in. Hey, Lisa, come on in. We're live streaming. Jason's brought some. How you doing? How's the leg?
TV.
Yeah. Okay. Saying hi. There's Jason back there. Working out. Lisa will walk into. Hey, Lisa, how are you doing? So, anyway, I think he brought a root beer keg. That's pretty exciting. And so the thing is, it focuses people. So, like, if you're on Facebook and you would just happen to show up at that moment, it might have been something you really wanted. Woohoo! It might have been something you really want. It might have been something you really wanted, but it moved 50 spots down your list, and so you miss it. And so, rather than, and it's tough because it's like you want to let your friends know, but at the same time, you don't want them to block you because you're like, share.
It's like, you have to think, it's like, how well did I really get along with this person 20 years ago that I'm getting ready to send an email to?
Oh, no. I don't think about that.
Doesn't matter.
They're all getting it. They're getting the message. This is if we want to make this game, if we want to make it happen, I don't care who gets it and sees it, and friends, enemies, future friends, future enemies.
I was going to say future ex-friends.
Future
as soon as they
ex-friends.
get the email.
Right, but it's not the email. They get the Facebook. So anyway, help us spread it. That's the.
Thank you for doing so all this time.
My God,
30 days seems like forever on day one.
I mean,
it's like, this is never going to end, and then you're getting to the last few days going, I need another 30 days.
Yeah, and how many people are like, can you extend the time? No. You cannot, and that's a reason for that, and so that's why it's like, jump in, get in, the water's fine. By the way, I want to give a big shout out to Austin Craig, he's the guy. The way we ended up becoming Descent was he actually knew Interplays. I think one of the guys, one of the investors, something Interplay, and he said, "Hey, would you guys be interested in talking to Interplay?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." At that time I was like, "Well, we're making the game, but." If we could be Descent, I mean, is it possible? And he goes, yeah. So that's how it all started. So one of the community actually said, since you're doing this game, let's see if we can make it a real Descent game. And so he was responsible. So big ups to you. He's been huge. Groundhound's been huge. Pretty much everybody out there is, Jaxley's doing the really cool stuff. He's put the banners, and he's doing the community
event.
Those
are really, really great.
Man.
And,
so much talent out there in the community, and then you've got like, John Barton, who never sleeps, Fall or Not. He's incredible. John Barton, artist. I call him. Yeah, he never sleeps. He's amazing.
The reason our website runs.
He is. He's there, and then Stealth Guy. I guess I should probably use their real names and just Stealth Guy's in Japan, and he's the one who makes sure that everything hooks up in the back end and works. You've got Kaji out in Germany, who did that amazing trailer, along with Irio, who's our gameplay programmer in France.
The first ship,
built
the first
Kaji
level.
Built the ship, first level for sure. I mean, it's there's so much talent out there, and we're happy to have it on the team and happy to be doing this. And then we've got Chris Taylor, Josh upstairs, people helping us out along the way, and then it's just amazing. So
here's that first look at Panzer.
Oh, okay. So let me show you how this works. So this is a 4-sheet of concepts we get in. So this is the concept that we've gotten for the Panzer so far, and we're looking at now. Now tell them what the Panzer is.
So here's the thing: when we start this process, we go and talk to the artists, have a meeting, and discuss what does this do. This is the heavy defensive, more sit and protect your friends sort of tank. In the game, so
it absorbs the damage.
Imposing, it needs to look thick. It needs to look, and if it were an animal, it would be a rhinoceros.
Clear the way, man! It goes down the hallway with you behind it, protecting the ships that are.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't know if we can do that, Jason. What are we trying that for?
So if we
power supply.
You brought a power supply. You go, my man.
And the first thing that popped into my head when we were talking about this is like I sort of think sort of hovercrafty looking, that shape, not a airplane at all looking, but more of a weighty, sort of solid looking vehicle. And these are the 4 concepts they gave us first. So, now we look at them and go, okay, maybe we want this one, maybe we should combine elements of this one and this one. And
so we got some people liking 1 and 3, some people liking 4. I think it'd be kind of cool to put this up on the forums.
1 and 2.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Jazz Arrow likes 1 and 2. I think that's his age.
He likes 12?
Yeah, he's 12.
Oh, okay.
No, he's not 12, and he knows that. That's the cool thing, man. You get to be 1 and 4.
A lot of people like 1.
Wow. Okay, so 2 looks good.
It requires a poll. Thanks, Ario.
It requires a poll. Yes, we would have to do it. It would have, yeah. Jazz says he wishes he was 12. You and I both, brother. You and I both.
I wish I was much fewer multiples of 12.
I'm more than 4 multiples
I know.
of 12. That's sad.
Oof.
Yeah, so Jason's trying out one of those 290 cards in there. The machine we had that we tried it out on yesterday didn't have the power supply big enough to do it. Didn't have an outlet for it, so
That's kind of sad.
It's always fun to play. It's always fun to play the games with the new graphics cards and see where they're at. I mean, we have our own little configuration lab. That's kind of how that works. And configuration labs are where in PC games in general, there's all kinds of motherboards. There's all kind of hard drives. There's all kinds of video cards. Some sound cards now. A lot of them are integrated on the board. And so you have to have a bunch of different systems to plug stuff into, run your game, check the frame rate, make sure it supports it. It's not as bad as it used to be because there's a lot of DirectX kind of makes it one, but it's like it's still a configuration lab because what we hate to do is ship the game out there and go, this game's broken, it doesn't work on my machine, and then it's just a compatibility issue. So
it's one of the challenges of developing for PCs. Always has been.
That is one of the very few benefits that publishers provide.
Publishers do good things too.
Do they?
We love them all.
Do they?
We just don't want them to tell us what to do. That's the difference.
Well, that. Okay, so yeah, we're trading one publisher in for 7,500 of them. But these are people that are passionate about the game.
7,395.
I'm counting the 105 that are going to come here in the next
10 minutes.
Yeah, it takes 10 minutes as soon as they share it.
105 people in 10 minutes. Let's go.
So Legante says he's got a lot of people signed up. Thank you, Legante. Appreciate it. But he doesn't want the ATI card because he's got a bad the bone set up in his kitchen up in the DFW area. He and my oldest son Wingman game together, and they're like kind of they hang out and play some of the games online. And I make Colton go to bed early because he's trying to stay up late. He's 16. He still needs to get his work done.
Sir Eris wants to know if there's going to be any special last-minute perks.
Sen Elias says, number 1, and call it a tiger. So Sen Elias, he's a friend of mine we met on Star Citizen, and he's a backer there, and it's a backer here. And I actually had some people review the pages and come up with ideas, and he hated me calling it a Panzer. And he goes, because he's German, and he said, Panzer means tank. And I'm like, well, that's what it is. It's a tank. He goes, but you can't call it just a tank. And I'm like, well, it's going to be renamed. So I wanted to call it a Tiger at first. Remember it was Tiger in the first iteration of the GDD. Remember we were writing it down.
Yeah,
we called it a Tiger.
But
then
why did we change it?
I don't know.
What were we thinking?
What were we drinking, maybe, at that time? But anyway, I think the thinking was that fans are going to name it anyway. There's those tiers out there. You guys get to name the ships, so there are tiers out there.
There are 4 people that get to name.
Yeah, they get to name the ships, and so they get. If there's 4, the first one they backed will get to choose which one they want to name. Then number 2, then number 3, number 4. There's still, I believe, 4 of those left. 4 of those packages.
There are.
Or there are 5.
There are 9 total, so there's still 5 left, I believe.
4 left.
Scrolling as fast as I can.
Scrolling down. Scrolling down the massive
we
Kickstarter
have a
page.
lot more packages than we started.
Yeah, it's always good to have a good package.
Well, it turns out that a lot of the people who are following us and who are backing us had good ideas about, hey, this would be a really good seller, like the 4-pack.
Oh, Blues came up with that.
Blues just mentioned that.
Blues came up with
that. You're right,
too.
Blues. That was a smash hit.
So. Yeah, Seaworm says Panzer is a much better name than Tank for an actual tank. That is true, but Panzer in German is
just German
tank.
for tank.
So for Americans and Canadians and stuff, it makes sense. For Germans, they're like, yeah, that is calling a tank a tank. So it's just funny.
Which is what you're supposed to do, right? I mean,
Yeah, well, I kind of left it there because it bothered Mike. I thought it was funny, and he knows that, so it's kind of fun to tease him. He's a wonderful man who's helped me quite a bit of times with reviews, and he's always traveling, so we're always hooking up on Skype. And Mike, big shout out to you. I love you, buddy, and appreciate all your help. So let's see what else we got. Germans have a better word for tanks than us. Yeah, they do. Of course they do.
we're not World War II.
Lothar says call it tank, tank, tank. Tank, tank, tank.
I like it.
Yeah, we aren't World War II.
Take it.
We could call it tika taka.
No, we couldn't.
What about scheisse? No, that would be a bad word to
That
call
would be unfortunate.
That would be cussing.
That would be very unfortunate.
You just cussed in German.
I
Yeah.
did, but
Sorry, German audience.
we're not on YouTube, so we can sing Happy Birthday if we
That
wanted
dotted
to.
line you were talking about earlier.
Did I cross it?
That was
Actually, there is a birthday.
a birthday. Who's having a birthday?
Let's see. There is a birthday on our list here of people.
On our Twitch channel, actually.
Whose birthday is it?
Somebody's 25 today.
25, magical age.
Who? And do we have somebody's name?
I'll look it up. See who comes.
Well, happy
back and
birthday,
says it.
who's 25
Whoever's
out
25 out there on
Half my age.
whoever's half wingman's age.
Hang it, Jim. I'm giving her old cheese goals.
Congratulations, you're half wingman's
By the
age.
way, we just broke 7,400 backers.
That's awesome.
Yay!
7,400
Thank you,
backers. That is
everybody.
fantastic.
Go.
Everybody.
It's amazing. I mean, we've picked up so many more backers.
7404.
So many more backers in the last few days, and again, we're hoping to get the rush takes us the rest of the way home. We've got a little bit of ways to go, but you guys are helping us get there, and big ups and big helps to that. Love you all for doing it. Keep spreading the word, and I want that torch, man.
Yeah, me too.
I want to give the torch to everybody in the community.
That's the thing that I like about that one is it's like we get to give you something extra just because you got us where we needed to be to make the game.
It was cool. Well, the funny thing about the torch is we were planning to kind of bring it in late. That's another example
It
of
was part of the storyline.
Yeah, we were going to bring it along later in the single player, but then people were like, "Where's the pyro?" And we're like, "All right, well, you know what?
Okay.
We'll show you." And so
we'll get it.
we'll show you what the plans are, and then it didn't feel right to we said, "All right, what do you guys want to do with this? We want to do it as an add-on. Do we want to do it as a support the dev? Do we want to do it as a stretch goal?" And everybody voted stretch goal.
And there it is.
It is, but we didn't think it was right because it's such an iconic ship of doing a stretch goal to pay us.
Yeah.
We thought it's such an iconic ship, and it was going to be the end of the single player experience, like the ship you unlock. And so it ended up being just a situation where we're like, okay, rather than making a stretch goal that is, okay, now it's unlocked, you can buy it, or it's part of a package that you have to buy. I mean, that would be dirty. Truthfully, because not everybody has $200 to spend, and by the way, we appreciate all that. But some people want it for $25. They're just as important as everybody else. So the $5 people, you count too, well, a bit. And so we're gonna. The thing idea here is that we figured we wanted to give the torch to everybody as a way of saying thank you. That's just a way of saying thank you. And so it worked out because everybody should have the torch because there's going to be some maps that are torch only.
At least there's going to be some game modes that are torch only.
Torch only. Well, that's kind of the fun part. I mean,
Yeah.
you setting up the server that way will be fun, and that's one of those things that you guys will help us decide. Like, we'll have some maps that are straight up combat, straight up arcade only, right?
Game rules.
Like you start with the same exact ship, and then it's who can find the guns, who can find the power-ups, who can find the hiddens. And my goal is not to have the hiddens be in the same spot every time.
That's really
Pretty
important.
girlfling.
Yeah.
What? I watched that.
Sometimes I do not understand where
I
you
watched
are
that
coming
movie.
from,
Okay,
Eric
I have
Peterson.
kids, man. We watched this weekend. Pretty girlfling. No, we're friends. I don't even know what that said, Michael.
That's
About
it
what-
is not.
Huh?
What Descent is? And
Oh yeah, we can do that in a minute. So anyway, we watched with my kid 2 iconic movies from the '80s. We watched Dark Crystal, which is where that's from, and then we watched The Labyrinth with David Bowie, and they're Hogwarts. It's funny that the little dwarfy guy is Hogwarts, and I wonder if the lady who wrote J.K. Rowling was remembered that when she wrote Harry Potter, or did it on purpose.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. So, let's talk about what Descent is and what Descent is not.
Oh, let's talk about the fact that there are only 6 hours to go.
Oh, 6
Now,
hours
we
to
know
go.
that the Kickstarter page,
6
as
hours to
soon as
go.
you're 1 minute into the new hour, it drops the hour count. Don't panic. There are almost 6 hours to go, not just 5.
5 hours and 54
4
minutes.
Yep. Not very long. But we're so close.
We're so close. So what are we and what are we not?
What are we and what are we not? By the
Now,
way,
this
that
game
was another community suggestion.
Just gonna
by the
say
way.
that thing, yeah.
That graphic came from our community because we wanted the message to be as clear as possible for all the people who hit the remind me button and came back on the last 2 days to see where we were and what it looked like.
Yeah.
We wanted them to be able to look at it and get a gist of the game immediately and realize, hey, this is exactly what we're doing. So, I mean, simplest thing first, space combat in 6 Degrees of Freedom. Those two things define Descent, really, in the very most basic terms. And, of course, we have our video on what 6 Degrees of Freedom is that explains that 6 Degrees of Freedom means movement in all 6 directions, up, down, left, right, back, forward, and rotation on all of those axes as well. That's your 6 Degrees of Freedom. The other thing that it's really about, that is really important to us, is that the game is a balanced game. The things we're introducing to you right now all have a specific meaning, but they all balance with each other, and each has a specific role, but there is no winning ship. I know a lot of people think that the Torch is the winning ship just because it's the Torch, but it is not so, even if everyone plays with it all the time. We have single player. We've talked a lot about the single player campaign. We had a design underground about the single player campaign, in fact, this week. We're going to start with around 10, 12 missions, and then we're going to expand it out as we continue to grow. And as the game continues, the word spreads, and we can sell more of the game, so we can keep making a bigger game. We're going to have cooperative play, multiplayer, all the modes that you guys are familiar with, Anarchy, either 1v1 or free-for-all, 8 players, 16 players, however many we end up with, in a single map, all fighting each other. Plus, we're going to bring back some other classic modes that appear in a bunch of different games. We're going to see which ones work and which ones don't work. I know that a lot of the Descent modes, some of the old school Descent fans are not real fond of a lot of the game modes, but so we might find that some of our audience is really fond of some of the other modes that they've learned in newer games. And so it's going to be a balance. We're going to try to bring a little of everything to the multiplayer. We definitely do want to do team stuff because with these multi-role ships, the cooperative effort of the team play is going to be really important to our game. What else have we not talked about? What that we are and are not? Because really, I mean, the destructible terrain, of course, is an important one. That's a new thing for Descent. I mean, you could blow up like the monitors and stuff, but it was cosmetic damage. And what we're doing, indoors. We're going to take that to a new level where you can actually change the landscape and change your tactics based on that. So the miners are going to be able to open new tunnels, which means new avenues of attack or new ambush holes, for instance. Plus, that leads to the mining element, which also is going to lead to power-ups that are hidden behind these things. Now, every ship can mine, but not as well as the auger. That's the important thing. Every ship can get to those power-ups, if need be. There is no, I have to have this one or I can't do it. That's not the case. So, what else do we have? Power-ups, of course, just talked about those. We are an official Descent game. We are a prequel to the Descent series. And
Aren't we? Why do you keep pointing at the camera? Aren't we showing a graphic?
we are showing a graphic.
Morlan's. He keeps. Just so you guys know what's going on.
Because I'm an idiot.
Mike keeps pointing at us, but look at the camera.
Because we're looking over here at the monitor, which
At the
can
graphic
you
that you were
show the
seeing.
whole room here? Can you show? Is there a
I'll
backface
give you a shot of that in a
All right,
second.
well,
Absolutely.
And he was like going,
Camera.
camera. I'm going. There's a graphic over there on the thing there. Why are you doing that? And I think
Live television right here.
Yeah, I was thinking one that faces backwards, Mike. But
I'll get that to you in a second.
That's okay. Anyway, the point was, take it back to the graphics so
I
Rob
will.
can finish his thoughts. I'm sorry to distract.
I'm sorry. I've lost.
Finish it up. No, you're
I've lost
good,
my
you're good.
mojo. Okay, the other things that we wanted to make clear to people when they landed on this page for the very first time or for the second or third time is PC, Mac, Linux. I think on our very first page, we neglected to mention the platform anywhere. That was obviously an oversight on our part, but PC, Mac, Linux, all supported by Unreal Engine 4, which is the next point, and VR. We have made a lot of headway in the media because we've talked about VR, and of course you've already seen, if you've looked on our site right below this, I think, or is it right above it, the Oculus Rift test. So we already have that technology up and running to some extent. Now we still have to do some work with the HUD and everything to make it work properly with that. But those are all the things this game is. We thought that covered pretty well what we're making.
But it turns out
There are a lot of things that people think we are.
Yeah.
That we're not.
It's like, you can say what you are, but then there's an extrapolation that happens, and but you're doing this or you're doing that. You're like, what? And so that's kind of, our model is a little different than a lot of other people. We kind of take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and mix it together to create our own thing, so that we could make this game. And it confuses people because you got Candy Crush, you got all these other things out there. So what are we not, Rob Irving? Tell us what we're not.
We're definitely not Candy Crush.
We're definitely not.
Although I have played Candy Crush, I play every game. We are not a flight simulator. We are a more arcade game. We are, yes, we want we'll call it physics of the ship to feel right, but we're going to throw out the scientific calculations if it doesn't make the ship feel right. So we're not using all the equations of motion. We're just making it fly right.
Come on in, sir.
We're not airplanes. That's really important. I mean, 6 Degrees of Freedom is something that a lot of people aren't really familiar with. So we are not flying around like World War II planes. We are flying like you're on an elevator or on a moving conveyor belt side to side, whichever. You can go in any direction. We're not all grindy. I know a lot of people think it's going to take 3,000 hours to unlock a ship. That's not the case. And you're not losing out on gameplay by not having all the ships. That's another important thing. Your best ship is the one the role you want to do, the one that's best at that role. And unlocking that first ship, it's not going to be a forced progression in the multiplayer. It's going to be you decide what you like best, and maybe if you do more of it, it'll make it even easier to unlock. But it's getting you to that next ship quickly, and once you really get a feel for the game and go, I like doing this part best, then that'll be the first ship you unlock. So it's not a grind. It's not that. Not pay to win. Oh boy, that's a hard one to get into, but we're just going to say not pay to win and move on. Now I'm looking back at the camera, Mike, because the graphic is not up on the screen. Not a MOBA. There was some messaging problems early on, and the press picked up and ran with that from Eric's LinkedIn page from like November of last year, and that our initial presentation kind of fed that. So we got that corrected. There are certainly some elements that are in common with some MOBA stuff, but that doesn't make us a MOBA. Let's see. What else did we say we're not? Not subscription-based. You do not need to pay a subscription monthly to play our game. Not.
But they need to understand what that is again. If you weren't here earlier.
Subscription, now that we do have, and the Underground is our membership thing. That is an optional add-on.
That's what we should have called it all along. Membership. And who's the goofus that put subscription on the Kickstarter page? That'd be this goofus. Yeah. But to be fair, everybody had a chance to look at it. That membership thing didn't come up till later.
We didn't really think about it.
Oh yeah, scooch over. Oh yeah, Rob's hogging the camera again. Again with the Irving and star of the show, pushing me out. I get out his. Fair enough.
Star of the show. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else are we not? We're not just a remake of the original.
Yes.
That's a really important idea. That's we want to bring back the.
Well, we can't do that
original,
either. We can't do that.
But we're not just doing the same game over again because that's not enough. That's the thing to us is we love the old game. We can play the old game right now, and we still enjoy it. But we can't just do the same exact thing over again and really make this game work for
No. I mean, it would be pretty, but we are going to have that style of gameplay is going to be available. We're going to honor that with an arcade classic style of gameplay.
Oh yeah, that's going to be it's going to be all. Descent is going to be all over this. There is no question about that.
It's funny because I think we showed a little too. It's the dangers of doing a Kickstarter or the dangers of showing a little too early are that people go, well, where are the power-ups? Where's the pyro? Where's the and it's like one of those things. Well, it's coming, but we weren't ready to show it yet.
I mean, it's not like we've spent months preparing for this and then said,
well,
okay,
we did spend a couple months.
We spent a couple months,
I did.
But we didn't have
you joined late.
6 months of full team working on
exactly.
this.
No. So
Yeah.
basically, that's an interesting point. So it started out with myself, Morlan, Kaji, Ario, Jason. That was kind of the small team working on it in January, and then Phil joined us. Did you join us in January, Phil?
Yeah.
Phil joined us somewhere mid-January, and then Rob, you joined us February, just before the start of the campaign. Actually, it was really kind of cool that Rob decided to come over, and that's awesome. And so a lot of that stuff that people were expecting to see, and maybe we could have taken another month and polished it, but I honestly think that we are here where we are because of the campaign.
And because of the people getting involved with
That's
the
my
campaign.
thing. Yep.
Oh, really?
Less than 20,000 to go. So
Less than 20,000. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, that's
This
awesome.
might actually work.
Dude, I am gonna take a swig of this at 600, but not a moment
is
before.
That's from
Not a
Jeff
moment before.
Uriarty at
Oh,
Planetary.
Jeff Uriarty.
That was my goodbye gift.
So
That
I
was
almost
so
brought
cool.
this in. Jeff rescued my Wingman poster.
I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah.
I-
Well, it was very
We'd
self.
hang you in there. In
Yeah.
the closet, because I don't really want you staring at me.
By
from
the
two
way,
directions all day.
I think, Mike, why don't we show a design underground session, and then we can all take a little lunch, so folks don't have to sit there and watch a sign or something. And
I'll pull that one up while you guys.
Which one do you want? Which one do you want to pull up?
Let's do the single player one. We talked about the campaign.
Let's do the
this
single
week.
player one.
I'll see if I can find that. I'll cue that up.
Okay,
Meanwhile,
okay.
Thank you, sir.
I have a shot of the entire studio from that camera right there. Everybody
Oh,
say hi.
awesome!
cool.
Sure. Everybody say hi.
Wow, look, it's us.
The camera's behind you.
There's Ice over here. Ice, you just brought us what?
Southside Barbecue from Elgin.
Dude. I love this man.
You know, that's low carb.
That's deliberately low carb. This is the entire loaf of bread they gave me.
Oh, well.
Dang it!
But otherwise, it's pure meat.
I love pure meat.
Meat.
Well, thank you very much for doing that.
Awesome.
Now we met at Mike. Go back to the full room so we can see everybody. Now we met at South by, right?
Right. I met you at South by after you did your Kickstarter presentation with the
With Gordon,
with
Crowfall.
Crowfall, yes.
Love those guys.
Them too.
Yep. Good.
So,
Good.
yeah.
You know, we've been close with them actually
Yeah.
this whole time.
Good
so that's
guys.
Yeah.
Good guys.
And Gordon's
Yeah.
another one of the old Originites, you know? I mean, it's,
And yeah, Todd made Shadowbane and all these. You know,
that was a good game, too.
there's all kind.
Old school.
So much talent in Austin, which, again, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
So much talent. But, with the new with these dang modern technology things, you can be anywhere and still contribute. Because that, if you like the video
I
of,
don't know what that was either.
that's, what?
Phil doesn't know what that was either.
That was
See,
that was Old
this is where we
Contemporary Man.
This is where we differ on comedy.
Yes.
That's just,
That was a grumpy old man.
was it Grumpy Old Men?
That was a grumpy old man.
It could be.
I suppose.
All right, so let's Mike, let me know when you're ready, and we'll break for some barbecue, and we will be right back at the end of it. I don't know how long it is. We got your picture of your show.
About a half an hour. 5 hours.
Mike keeps flashing his his picture of the. Why don't you have a nice graphic up there, like on your desktop, like one of the wallpapers that you created?
What's that behind me?
Yeah,
I got a whiteboard.
No, but your Windows thing pops up like on screen when you're switching things or on Twitch.
Oh, over here?
Yeah. And so if you had your desktop had an actual cool image there, it wouldn't.
5 hours and 40 minutes left in this campaign.
And we're almost at 7,500 backers too.
And we are almost at 7,500 backers.
Man, it's amazing. It's amazing. I did one of these. I've done a few. We'll talk about that when we get back. So let me know when you're ready,
Oh, that'll
Michael.
be
And
interesting.
still not ready?
Having a little trouble finding that one. Was that number 3?
Number 3.
Number 3. Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Stand
That's
by
all
on
right. Well, we could if we only knew somebody that could ramble. If we only knew somebody that could just talk incessantly and bore people to tears. Do we know
Go.
anybody like?
Just pull the string, right? Is that how you do
Yeah. Pull the diaper. Pull the diaper. Make it happen. Make it so, number one. Make it so. Magpool said, well, we can take some questions. Why don't we take some questions on here?
Sure.
If you guys got any questions you want to ask, we have questions in Twitch. Phil, are you monitoring Twitch right now? Phil's monitoring
Anything
Twitch.
going on down there?
And we've got some questions on our own chat roll. So please send it in. Let us know what's going on. And we'll. By the way, you'll get to meet Kaji a little later on. We're going to talk to him about that badass trailer he did. That was amazing, and we'll talk about the making of that and how cool that was, and we'll go from there. So, want to celebrate? Lothar's already wanting to celebrate Descent-themed alcoholic beverages. What link am I going to click here? Oh, that's cocktail recipes for the Descent party.
Yeah, the Descent-themed beverages.
I literally can't get, I've got a flight in the morning to Tulsa, Oklahoma for the Heartland Gaming Expo, and with Winglet, I'm taking Colton. He's going with me. We're going to have some fun up there, and hopefully we're going with a successful crowdfund.
That would be a much better way to do it.
Yes,
than
yes.
than the walk of shame.
Yes, you can't go as a crowdfunding talker with a
I'm-
failed. Well, let's be honest. I had a super failed one already.
Right. So you know both sides of the Kickstarter coin. It looks like you might have a successful one again here.
Well,
too, 'cause
no
did
chickens.
You did Cloud Imperium.
I did. I did the Star Citizen one. That was
That
good.
obviously was a
What-
success.
Okay,
and
was not
by
just. Come on.
miles.
That was
By
that was,
miles
That
and
was
miles
Sandy.
and miles.
That was Chris. It was Ben Lesnick. It was myself. It was Ortwin. Dave Swafford. There were a lot of good people there. So.
Yeah.
You know,
But you were
it was
there
fun,
for
and you
what
know,
it definitely.
yeah,
took
and
off.
you know, okay, kudos to Chris for bringing space games back because it's a lot. And then you know, I was like, I want to do Descent. I want to make this. So, Mike, you've got the Design Underground ready to go.
Sweet.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a little break for lunch. We'll run the Design Underground
From this week.
from
20
this
minutes.
week. It's about 20 minutes long, and we hope you enjoy it. And we'll be back after this.
Hey everyone, and welcome again to Design Underground, episode 3.
Yay.
I'm Rob Irving. I'm the creative director here. This is Eric Peterson, Wingman, the
Wingman.
Wingman,
Mhm.
my official wingman for the show.
Yeah, that's true.
And today we thought it might be a good idea to talk a little about our fiction and our single-player campaign.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have asked about that, and I figure it's a good time to go into a little of that, a little more of what we're planning to do, what we really want to do in the long run.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to be a huge part of the game, and again, my favorite part of the game. But
Well, you know, it's funny. A lot of people, when you ask people what Descent is, some people say it's co-op, some say single player, some say multiplayer. So it's a little bit different for everybody. But
all of those things.
all of them. And so single player is a large contingent of people really like the maze solving, puzzle solving, get the keys, rescue the hostages kind of thing. So we wanted to just, you know, as Rob said, we wanted to kind of discuss what we'll be doing. What does it mean? What does a prologue mean? What is the big epic story? What are we planning to do? Where are we taking you? And so, yeah, that's kind of what we'll get to today.
So we can start a little with the backstory. What's going on with our future history that we're telling? We had some of that on the Kickstarter page at one time. Some of it
We had a lot
has
of
moved
lore
away.
there, yeah.
there was a lot
Quite a
of
bit
a
of lore.
lot of lore, but you know we still have it. We've preserved that. The important idea here is that Earth in the future has basically just run out of resources. It's really trouble for the people of Earth because, well, at the rate we're going, it's not unfeasible that we are just going to run out of everything.
Yeah.
So as the resources run out, humanity starts thinking about how to solve this problem. And they're going to start with the idea of these corporations going out there, and I'm getting way ahead of myself here.
You are. That's all right. Population. So I can kind of help
So,
you. I'll
yeah.
help you get on track here. So populations have grown to a large extent, and it's caused strife, poverty, people starving all over the world, and so
Unrest. Lots of
governments
unrest,
have
yeah.
fallen, and corporations have basically taken over for
Right.
those things.
The people
Which-
with the money have,
Right.
have the power.
As usual, right?
As
And
usual.
which has led to a bit of a space race, which has led people to the asteroids to gather resources. So we've sent people out interstellarly to find us a new home, but nobody's returned yet. So while that's
a long
happened,
trip.
right? It is a long trip, and so while that's going on, we've got corporations saying, "Well, we've got an idea. We'll go to the asteroid field. We'll mine the natural resources we need, and we'll bring them back to Earth to sustain us."
Stopgap measure until hopefully they can find somewhere else to put all these people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which-
Because we are a lot of people, and so that's kind of where we're at in the storyline. So, well, sort of. I mean, that's happened to that point, and then
That's the backstory.
well, yeah. But then you've also got to a point where, so we're here in space. They've gone out in space, and the first people went out there, and they were all in manned ships.
Right. And there was a lot of competition.
A lot of competition. It's like the Wild West in the 1849 U.S. Gold Rush kind of thing, where there was no law. People are out there killing each other, and they're trying to steal everything from everybody else. And corporations are finding that it's a lot more expensive to replace pilots than it is to replace vehicles. And-
Bottom line.
right. So they got together, created a
Consortium?
A consortium. Yeah. Consortium. Is it consortium or consortium?
Consortium.
Consortium.
Or consortium, depends on how you want to say it.
I like either one. And so they got together and said, "All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue to fight. We're gonna continue to argue, because this is where our bottom line matters, but we're going to do it with drone warfare rather than with pilots, because pilots are expensive.
They can't really agree to just each person take a chunk of the asteroids and leave each other. It's never going to happen.
No, you can stake
So-
a claim, but they're claim jumpers all over the place.
So, yeah, a little friendly disagreement, we'll call it. Then some brilliant marketing guy comes up with the idea that, hey, why don't we televise this?
Yeah,
We get
that's
free
right.
entertainment. Let's send this back home and let the people watch.
As another way of satiating, or is that a word? I'm making a word.
Satiating? Satiating?
Yeah, satiating, making people happy. They keep their minds off of the strife that they're going through and their hunger in their bellies. And so that's how the corporate games have developed, and that's what's going on there. And that sort of leads us at this point to where we are. Right about the time we did the groups got together and decided to do drones, well, not everybody agreed.
A lot of companies didn't feel like that was the right idea. That,
Right.
We've got all these people, way too many people, and all these efforts are about people, so people should be making these efforts. It's not,
Right.
it should be pilots out there in space doing their work. And yes, it's hazardous, but it gives people the energy to know that they're doing something important individually, and so their minds are in the right place, their hearts are in the right place as far as the idea that they're trying to protect the people of Earth and empower the people of Earth. So that's one group that disagreed. There's another side to that as well.
As anything, as you guys have seen in our community as well, you've got different things for different people. That's the one group wants to have mancraft, and another group says, well, why do we need pilots at all? Why don't we use...
Why do we need people at all? Let's use some bots.
Let's use some bots.
Let's automate all of this.
Right, and that's a whole other faction, and so they've broken off. So you've got three different groups. You've got the main group, which is saying we'll use drones. We still want the pilots because we still need to know where these minerals are, and it's a more efficient manner.
It makes the sport more attractive.
It makes the
too.
sport more attractive.
People being involved gives the people back home heroes
Right.
to watch.
And then you have the gladiatorial groups, which are saying it's much more enthusiastic if it's actual people dying, but that seems to be somewhat brutal for some of the people back on Earth. And then you've got the group it's completely about the bottom line. It's all saying we can do the job with bots only. And so you've got three groups, and that sort of leads us to the beginnings of where we want to be with the prologue.
Where our story starts.
Right,
exactly.
right.
So our story begins with you as a drone pilot out there doing your job. I mean, that your job involves competition with the other corporations, so it's normal to run into conflict on the day-to-day job. But what we're going to do is we're going to start you off with kind of that day-in-the-life approach to your first maps will be learning the different drones and their different roles, and those will unlock as soon as you need them. So very quickly you'll get to try out a lot of different roles. You will be learning about how to mine and what that does to the maps, and using your defenders to fight off other drones, and those of course will be piloted by AI. So
Right.
AI as in game AI, not AI as in bot AI.
Right.
There are human pilots behind our AI pilots that are bots.
Right.
Right.
Well, yeah, there's some, it's like a tiered approach, right? And so
Right.
so ultimately what you'll be fighting will be first you'll be fighting other drones, which will be AI controlled drones. And then you'll have the introduction of these AI bots, which it's hard to talk about single player because we don't want to give too much away.
Sneaky.
But I think we need to. We'll give a little bit away.
A little bit.
And so we'll have the single player drones, and then you'll actually be surprised because while these companies have said that these bots are for mining only, well,
They have to defend themselves.
I guess so.
Defend themselves.
Right.
Best defense is a good offense.
Right, and so
So-
and you'll be introduced to the new craft all along the way. You'll be introduced to the different roles that they can all play and how they can do it more efficiently. You'll be introduced to the two factions that are out there, and that's one of the tiers. Is I believe the main corporations have all been named by the people on the Kickstarter.
The
page.
Earthbound corporations.
The Earthbound
the
corporations, the sponsor corporations, and now we're going to have the ones that are at the $1,100 tier are actually going to name the factions that are. They're broken off. They'll be the ones you're fighting against. You don't want to say splinter factions. You don't want to say terrorists because that's kind of a bad word today.
No.
But they're people who have a different idea of how these things should be run. And you've got again both the ones who believe in humans being in there, and then you've got the ones that are bot controlled or AI they're AI only. Right?
Players can certainly choose to fly for those corporations when they're playing multiplayer. They can have that logo on their ships as well. It's like, you know what? I'm all about the bots. I'm on the bot team.
Yeah, the bot team. That's true.
Which is great. I mean, that's the nice thing is that the diversity that introduces for these different philosophies, and also just the idea that teams are important.
Right.
Who you fly for is important to players.
So we'll be setting up in the single player story the different other factions that you'll be fighting against in the in the multiplayer, or all so in the single player, we'll kind of be introducing what you'll be going against the different factions, how you're going against them. You'll be introducing all the different elements you'll be seeing in the universe out there, from AI drones to AI bots.
And the core. The core is an actual thing.
Well,
it's an important thing.
You can see it. I mean, the core is sort of one of those things that we've already shown a little bit. It's not the standard old nuclear reactor thing you had in the 90s. This thing is like a ball of unobtainium, which...
Oh, I can't believe you said
it's
that.
It's not really unobtainium. All right, I'm sorry. It's not obtainium, but that was really cool in Avatar. So
no, it was not.
All right, fair enough. I liked it, but anyway, but you've seen it, and one of you will have that blow up the core and get out there. There will be some maps that are going to be you've been sent in to. God, man, I don't want. Okay,
there might be some twists to the core. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
For now.
Okay. Fair enough.
We have some ideas.
But you will have that typical gameplay experience where you're going in, you're rescuing, things, you're killing up, you're destroying the reactor core, and then you're racing to get out of the tunnels. That's absolutely part of what we'll be doing.
And all of those stories are leading up to the overall storyline, which leads up to Descent.
Right, and currently we've got 12 missions that will be coming out in around 12.
We're loose estimate right now for the initial story, for our initial prologue. And then going from there. The goal is over the long term to take this out to a really good goal.
So again, we want to do this. We think Descent really needs an epic storyline. I mean, an epic single player campaign, and that's what we've come from. That's what we have done forever with Wing Commanders and things like that. Unfortunately, those things are fairly expensive to make, and so if we came out and said, okay, well, we want to make this whole big thing, it's $2 million or $1.5 million. I think that that might not be that. We see it, Michael. You can leave it down. We've seen that, and so that Michael always holds up these notes back there for us to
prompts.
He
likes to prompt us.
Good. It's good stuff. But so we figure what we do is we would build the prologue and the multiplayer first, so that we can get it all balanced and working. Use the proceeds of the sales from that to then fund the single player campaign. So it's kind of like a big leapfrog. I mean, if we are fortunate enough to make our goal and to make this game for everybody together, this is what we're doing together, then it's a 10-year process. We're going to be adding to this thing forever. And this is just phase one. And so we want to support the single player. We are supporting it. We want to make a much bigger single player campaign. That'll be exactly what we're doing.
That's our grand goal.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about what's in the map.
Let's talk about what Mike just prompted us.
What Mike told us to talk about. So the maps are going to be familiar to people in a way who've played Descent.
Right.
In the way that they're laid out, in the maze-like quality, and the sort of the whole thing is one big puzzle, but with newer elements added in. Since we don't have a lot of pilots in our universe, the resource gathering sort of replaces the people gathering. It's the same idea.
Well, that's funny. That's what PALs are. Essentially, PALs are your new hostages.
Well, the other resources as well. I mean, the idea of picking something up and bringing back and not losing it along the way.
Sure.
Same thing carries over here. We're just using different mechanics and adding additional mechanics layered on top of that. But, I mean, you're still going to have similar hazards. Hopefully never overdone hazards, because entire levels of lava are not cool.
Well,
the puzzle solving, the doors, all of that, those kind of things are going to be there, but we are going to extend that because modern gameplay has a few more bells and whistles to it.
Sure.
Cases,
but the key creepy style
of
hidden enemies, and you come into a room and they're actually up here rather than I guess I need to be on camera. They're up here as you fly in.
Off screen.
They're here. That you're flying. They're here, pointing down. Those kind of things. That absolutely is It's funny. The originals had people like and myself included, really liked the not knowing when you came into a room, all of a sudden you're getting hit. What the heck? Where's that?
The tension,
Right,
which
right,
is important to Descent, but also, I mean, the sounds are crucial.
Oh, absolutely.
Having good sounds.
Speaking of
the-
sounds, none of the music you've heard so far is in the game. This is all placeholder stuff that is just used to create a back kind
that
of
we're
feel.
allowed to use. This is
Right,
important.
exactly. We haven't gotten a composer yet. There's several that have reached out to us. Matt Fossa's done some stuff. He wants to do it. James Hannigan's reached out. We've got one of the guys from Information Society, the lead singer of that. Actually, when I talked to him yesterday, wonderful guy. Kurt was really nice to meet. And so there's a lot of people. But choosing the music is not it's something that is. I think it's key to Descent, and so that's going to take a little bit of time. And then what we'll probably do is bring it out to the fans, let them hear samples, and let you guys have a say in what you guys think is Descent-y. So let's get back to it a little bit. We've got
So one of the things about this, the new style, is that the roles are very important to what we're doing. I mean, if each ship has specific capabilities that we will incorporate into the single player missions, and those will be parts of your missions. They'll be part of your objectives. Now you may be able to go back and play something in with a different ship and find things you didn't find before.
Right.
So we have the ability to do even more hidden things than Descent
did. That's a very key point that I think is missed on a lot of modern games, is the fun of discovering hidden chambers and power-ups and things that are out there that aren't there. Now in Descent you could actually see, like, you could see a line along the wall where you knew you could shoot there and open that door or the ceiling or whatever. But I mean, I remember, like, in Wolfenstein, you used to bang on the walls until one opened to find that stuff. And so
RPGs too. You just go and click on every single section of the wall until you find the secret door. I know there's one here.
So we will have secrets. I mean, that's actually really fun too, is to discover those things. But
and changing environment is part of that. It's like you can change the environment, which affects how you play. It affects the map itself.
Right.
It gives you access to these hidden places, the resources you need, but it also means that your opponents can do the same thing.
Right.
They have tactics that can involve that. So.
Right. So there'll be things. There'll be hidden things. There'll be things going on for you to discover. Some of the ships will be better at finding some of those than others.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that you have to use those to find them. So it's just a specialty. Secrets, hidden AI.
And AI, I mean, that's the important thing, is how the AI behaves. Is and I think that also is going to go in stages. Our AI will have to start out fairly basic, given time limits and how long we have, which is the same as time limits, and so we need to have it do all the basic things. But we want it to use all these extended tactics as much as you do.
Sure.
So the really long-term goals for that as well are enemies that are far more interesting than what you've seen before.
Well, yeah, I mean, if the reality of AI is, especially in the originals, was it was more about map design and map placement more so than what the enemies could do, and that's crucial. I mean, I think that's one of those underrated things for people, is how to design and craft a user's experience with a really, really good map, and that's something that we're going to have to work very hard to get right.
Oh yeah, that's going to be crucial.
And it's placement of your enemies or bots around that will ramp up the experience for people, especially the creepiness. Like, you have 2 or 3 bots in there, and maybe there's 1 or 2 more in the hallways you weren't aware of if you go to the higher levels.
We get to do all the things I want to do with the bots. They're going to be plenty creepy. Plenty creepy.
Well, okay then. That sounds like fun. I have such a humorous joke, but I'm not doing it because we're being serious.
This is a serious
I
bit.
understand. I get it, but
this is the serious bit.
It is. And so, as Rob said, we'll have reactors, we'll have hiddens, we'll have hazards, puzzles, mazes.
Descent-y stuff.
It's Descent-y stuff, and so and you'll uncover some power-ups too. I mean, that's kind of the hidden stuff.
Of course. Did we not mention? We need to mention power-ups.
Yeah, not floaties, power-ups. I know you don't like it when I call them.
It hurts my heart when you say floaties.
Well, it's just sort of there, and the funny thing is, we actually, if you haven't seen the Oculus Rift video, we released that yesterday. The first real look at that. It's not to pat ourselves in the back, but it looks really good. But then it brings up another point with the power-ups, is that they're super bright when you're playing with the Rift. So we've got to find some way of making that work for both Rift and no Rifts. To Rift or not to
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, I did it.
We're looking forward to bringing all this to you. both the prologue and the full extended campaign.
Yes.
We're getting there. So hang in there. We've got a few days left. Keep spreading the word.
Yep, and a lot of Kickstarters get that 40% bump in the last couple days, and so we're going to need it, obviously.
Yep.
But we're happy. We're happy that we've got the backers we have, and you guys are helping us spread the word. And
We appreciate everything you've
We'll
done.
keep charging ahead, and we'll see you guys with the live stream on Thursday, and then a long live stream on Friday.
Epic live stream.
Epic live stream where we probably will be playing the game, letting people maybe have some folks from Austin come by and check it out. We've been wanting folks to do that, and you've got some cool stuff coming up here the next couple days too to show that there's some new footage from the game with possibly some new ships in the game working.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So
Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm Rob Irving, and this is Design Underground. See you next time.
and we're almost back.
And
we're not quite back.
that camera. There we go.
And we are back.
And now we get to see how fun it is to live stream in a meat coma.
Yeah, meat sweat. They got the meat sweats. Thanks to Ice Baby, dun 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 dun, who we find out is actually from Mike and my hometown, which is just
Can you
bizarre.
believe that?
Yes.
3 Baytonians in one room? That's
Yeah,
pretty scary.
we're
Very
not allowed to.
scary. Oh.
He brought barbecue,
I
and
feel out of place.
we'll show you guys. By the way, Jason is a vegetarian, so he didn't get to eat any.
More for
He
me.
had some pickles.
He had some pickles, and he had some potato salad and some coleslaw. So that's cool. But so first of all, thank you very much for bringing that.
Thank you.
And second of all, we were just talking. We said we want to invite some people by the live stream, and just like we said, they're here. Ice is here, and Elf and Dunk's here, and we're gonna be playing. Since Jason decided to try one of those new cards out,
So we'll get the machine open in the other room right now.
so they're gonna fix the machine and get it back up and running, so we can play some. Ooh, I do have the meat sweats going there.
This is going to be a fun hour or two.
You just better hope it stays up in this area. That's all I'm saying there, pal.
that dotted line.
If you start seeing the lean, the lean away, you're in trouble, pal.
Oh no, there's that dotted line again.
Yeah, what? There is no. It's just it's an imaginary dotted line. So anyway, we've got some. Mikey, you just putting a camera? Are you putting a thing over there? Okay, well, thought we'd check in and see, just kind of show what's going on in that room and see what's going on in the green room. I guess.
There we go. In the green room. There we go.
Why is it green room?
So they're over there rebuilding a machine that they took apart a little while ago. They're gonna put back together and
Eating barbecue.
eating barbecue. Mike's actually still eating the barbecue.
That's right.
It's amazing that he can produce a show and eat barbecue at the same time.
That's right.
And what do you
baby.
think of that barbecue?
Multitasking.
That's pretty amazing stuff. Where's this from?
You could spell that on the shirt and no one would ever know.
That's why I
Depends
wear
on
it.
where he spills it.
No, it doesn't. It just looks like it's part of the shirt. I'm telling you, man, that is a loud shirt.
We are almost 7,500 backers.
All right, 7,500 backers would be great.
28 more.
28 more. Keep coming. Appreciate also RSI for allowing us to have our thread in the general chat forum, but got a couple people over there breaking the law. But they need to understand that Chris Roberts was one of the best men at my wedding. Aaron is one of my best friends. We've been friends for 27 years. So if he wants to come put a thing in my general forum asking for help, that man's got my back, and I've got his back. So, sorry. Not really sorry, just that's the way it's going to be. So it is what it is, and we appreciate. And by the way, if you are a backer at both places, and a lot of people are, we're going to give you just all you got to do is tell me your backer number there, your backer number here, and we'll make sure you get a nice Star Citizen logo. I mean, I think it's kind of cool to be flying those around. I mean, I think it's neat that we have 2 games. Is he pinging you right now about that? Okay, we'll do that a little bit later. And Mike does ask me questions, so if I kind of run off in a different direction, I'll.
You run off in a different direction?
So shock.
Never happens.
I know. All right, it's crazy. Wow, man, Blue 6 just created. I didn't know you could do this. Blue 6 on Star Citizen forums just created a virtual credit card just to back an 11th hour backer. Man, thank you very much, Blue 6. That's incredible.
Virtual credit card. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. Oh, it's stretch goal. They want to have another Wingman's hangar. Can't we have a Wingman's drone bay?
Maybe. It doesn't have quite the ring to it.
No. Well,
Kind of
I wanted to call it Wingman's hangars. with an E, but
Yeah,
Mike wouldn't let me.
I know you do.
Mike wouldn't let me. He's like, I'm like the devil guy on the shoulder, and he's like the angel one. He's always bringing me out of the gutter.
It's good
Yeah,
that,
we
that
already-
he can drag you back towards the middle of
He
the
We
won't
already
leave-
ran around once.
He
with
won't
that
let me.
one, though.
He won't let me just wallow in my own filth. You know, it's just, he's got to keep bringing me up, and I appreciate that. It's the fun. I mean, if you're going to work, my philosophy is you're going to work really hard and long hours. You might as well enjoy yourself while you're doing it. So we got a little bit more to talk about here. We got a lot more to talk about here, and we have some time left. What do you got left? 5 hours. You got a clock on there now, Michael.
Yeah, been running the whole time. 5 hours.
Oh,